Greetings! This is Ron Smalik with my November edition of Minecraft Map History. This is my 8th installment. 3/4 of the year have been recapped. In fact, 3/4 of the last 3 years, looking back at Minecraft maps that I've played in the months of 2011, 2012, and 2013. As I said, I'm on my November edition, so without further ado, let's take a look at maps that really meant something to me from those time periods. In November 2011, I was spending a lot of time focused on my Grinchmas map for Minecraft, as well as prepping to be a panelist at Minecon. So I only played and reviewed 3 maps during that period, but oh man, were they awesome. I'm going to highlight 2 of them here because they personally mean a lot to me. Both of these maps were created as part of my Vanilla Community Challenge. This was a contest in which I challenged map makers to create a Minecraft adventure map using vanilla, no mods, no tools. Back then, there were 2 creations that actually made the deadline. The first was by Utnan, called The Ghosts of the Sargasso. It was a ghostly, pirate-themed adventure, if you can imagine that unique concept, and it actually involved some really cool special effects. This was a thoroughly enjoyable map, considering the massive effort that was needed to meet the Vanilla Challenge rules. Thematic elements were combined really well with great dialogue and humor. This included Minecraft cannons, and I absolutely loved the way that the player's path was connected and circled through later scenes and detailed visuals. The second place map in my Vanilla Challenge was by Felonious the Wizard, and it was called The Story of Curious. This is a fun little puzzler map with some very clever story mechanics. I was super impressed by the idea of parallel stories and morale choices, and it even pays homage to one of my favorite movies, The Goonies. I appreciated the train, and in particular, the detail on the coupling between the train cars. Now, I had the pleasure of tracking this map's creation via Felonious' YouTube channel, and I was thrilled to see both of these maps to completion. And both of these maps actually contain lots of behind-the-scenes details on what it took to create this back in this version of Minecraft. Fast forward now to 2012, I played 5 maps in November of 2012, and the one that I'm going to talk about first, I can't even believe that this map came out so long ago. Aranev 2 by Jigarbov, The Soul Cauldron. This is the sequel to his famous Aranev Mansion adventure, and it's a nightmare-envisioned realm that will challenge the player both physically and mentally to survive. It's an open-world adventure story with a CTM vibe to it. Massive use of command blocks and custom mob spawners made this feel like a whole new game at the time. The story itself is intentionally strange until you get some pretty big reveals about the overarching lore of the Aranev series. The puzzles and all the little Easter eggs were incredible finds. Now, for 2013, I was back into the realm of playing lots of maps. In this month, November 2013, I actually played 16 different maps. And I'm going to talk about 2 that are not adventure maps, just for something a little different here. The first is Super Tetragon by a team called Flagger Lagerskate, which happens to feature someone named Jesper the End. Q-Magnet and I played this mini game together, in which you dodge waves of colored blocks to earn high scores, while picking up random power-ups and trying to avoid items with negative effects. The game mechanics in this one were fantastic. There was a really innovative menu system and 2 different scoring modes. The visuals were very colorful and interesting for a mini puzzle map, and from a challenge and progression perspective, the game starts slow enough that you can be standing in place for several seconds and then quickly ramps up to a frantic pace as the waves of blocks come pouring in. Multiplayer makes this even more challenging as you compete together, but often get blindfolded by each other when you stand inside the other player. A lot of fun in this little mini-map. And last but not least, I want to talk about a creation map This is a recreation of the Kanto region from Pokemon, not from Pokemon the game, but the TV show, by Eisenbahn. Now, I've looked at a number of Pokemon maps over the years, all of which are recreations of those Nintendo games. This is the first one that I had seen that actually recreates the entire world from the cartoon, and it's awesome. Each of those cities was built with gorgeous exterior detail, and most of the interior buildings have details as well. It's an ideal backdrop for any sort of video project or servers, and the layout of the cities is actually built with scale recreation of the distances between them. My only wish would be to see more landmarks between the cities, but the custom terraforming of the landscape is definitely better than a random map. This map was played by myself and HajJosh MC using the Pixelmon mod, so if you're interested in doing a Pixelmon map inside of a Pokemon-like world without having to worry about all sorts of storylines and NPCs, I would definitely give this one a try. So, of the 24 total maps that I've played in various Novembers from 2011 to 2013, I hope you enjoyed this brief look back at a few of my favorites. Stay tuned next month for the December edition when we talk about more custom maps for Minecraft. I also want to give a quick shout out to my patrons who support me on a monthly basis for as little as $1 a month. They've actually been able to see this video and many other LPs on my channel earlier than the public. Do you want to get an advanced look at what's coming in December? Check out my page at patreon.com/rsmalik. Cheers!